Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Wednesday evening, September 27, 2023. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video, share it, subscribe and tap notification bell so that you'll be notified every time I post a brand new video. Feel free to leave a comment down the comment section letting me know what weather has been like in your area recently. Also, feel free to ask any other related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. I respond to all comments and I really live for this stuff. Alright, so let's just take a look at the US National Hurricane Center's 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook. You can still see that we still have Tropical Storm Philippe, and to the east of Philippe we have that area of possible cyclone development. It now has a 90% chance of formation within the next 7 days, and it's still moving towards the northwest, and we know the next name on the list is going to be Rena. Let us focus our attention on Philippe because it's been making headlines recently across the Caribbean, considering that in the initial stages it was forecast to go more towards the northwest, maybe become a fish storm going out to sea, but we can see as time went on it is now forecast to be a weaker system, maybe making it to tropical depression status, as it makes it a more of a westerly kind of track to possibly affect sections of the northeastern Caribbean. So maybe sections of the Leeward Islands, Puerto Rico, who knows, maybe sections of Jamaica down the line with what's left of it if it becomes a remnant low. We'll be keeping our eye on the system as time goes by. Let us focus our attention on the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening. We can still see that we have high pressure right there across the northeastern portion of North Atlantic. That's sending these systems more towards the west, the area to the southeast of Philippe, more to a northwesterly kind of track. And we can see it even better on the visible satellite images before the sun went down. We can see those areas of clouds associated with Tropical Storm Philippe and that area of low pressure. We can also see that we have another tropical wave right there to the south of Puerto Rico. That's definitely going to be giving some amount of rainfall to sections of Jamaica later on this week. We can also see that we still have that tropical wave interacting with that trough across the western Caribbean, bringing lots of thunderstorms to sections of the Cayman Islands, sections of Belize, the Yucatan Peninsula, sections of Honduras, El Salvador, and even portions of Guatemala at this time. You can also see some thunderstorm activity across sections of Cuba, Florida, and even the Bahamas. Alright, so let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Wednesday. It was stated that we would have received some amount of rainfall across sections of some eastern, central, and western parishes, especially southern parishes. Eastern parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey. Central parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Middlesex. Western parishes, those parishes in the county of Cornwall. And there was more of an emphasis placed on the south coast. So definitely the eastern, central, and western parishes on the south coast of the island. So definitely maybe sections of St. Andrew, Kingston, St. Catherine, Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, and Westmoreland. And what ended up happening? A post was made on our Twitter page, not only our Twitter page, but Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok pages, highlighting the visible satellite images showing clouds bringing some isolated thunderstorms to sections of some southern parishes. So definitely sections of Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine, Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, and Westmoreland got in on some of that. And we can see it even better on the infrared satellite images showing the high cold cloud tops as indicated by the greens, the yellows, the reds, the blacks, not to mention the sparkling white dots that represent some amount of lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes. So we definitely got in on some amount of thunderstorms across especially southern Jamaica during the afternoon hours. And we had confirmation from some of our commenters on our Twitter and Instagram pages. Cardi D stating hard showers came down in downtown Kingston. I'm on Marcus Garvey Drive right now, knee deep in traffic, and it's barely pitter-pattering. Festina stating we got it once again, heavy rain and gusty winds. Cecile, up just as predicted off Sligoville. Then I'll be stating lightning and light rain in 3 miles as we speak. Smoking Rum Be rain over here, be rain Kingston. And even another comment, finally got a decent shower in Hellshire. We had 3 days straight at the beginning of the season, but hardly any since then. Today was a welcome, very welcome soaking. Best Genius, one more round of rain. Nezuko, best friend, stating, yup, raining heavily in Old Harbor. Hail. Spanish Town says thanks. Even on our Instagram pages, even on our Instagram page, we have commenters confirming the rainfall. Steffi Princess is pouring in downtown Kingston. Shakira, yes, some nice rain in Spanish Town. Renee Rebel stating Spain and Washwe. Brown Ice Chin raining in Spanish Town. And even Steffi stating Kingston and Washwe. So happy place, cool and nice. Little bit of Indian rain in the Papine area, and I'm loving it. And even if we take a look at the live camera from See Jamaica's YouTube channel, we can see that they have a brand new view, maybe from the hills of St. Andrew, showing the Kingston area. We can even see out by the wharf, we can see New Kingston, and we can see that huge rain shaft right there across sections of especially southern and eastern Kingston right there. What time is this? It's about 4:23 p.m. and we can see the heavy rainfall at that time taking place across sections of Kingston. And we can see it even better 4:23 p.m. on the Crossroads cam right here. Definitely seeing lots of heavy rainfall taking place across Crossroads. Even downtown Kingston got some of that heavy rainfall. Lots of people running with their umbrella. Even some isolated flash flooding took place across the area today. And we can see that even better on a video that came in on our Twitter page, highlighting some heavy flooding that took place across sections of Windward Road around the vicinity of the Rockforth police station. So they definitely got some amount of inundation, some flooding taking place as a result of that heavy downpour this afternoon, even having some cars stalled out. And if we take a look at the temperatures right now, we can say we have 27 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 28 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay. And as the night progresses, these temperatures should be getting lower, maybe down to 26 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 25 degrees Celsius in Kingston. As relates to the temperature forecast for tomorrow, we're still going to be receiving up to 3 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures, as indicated by those orange colors we can see by the key on the right. And we know the average temperatures for the month of September in Jamaica is about 90 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about the equivalent of 32 degrees Celsius when we look at the thermometer. So we should be receiving anywhere from 32 to 35 degrees Celsius at most for Thursday. As relates to the dry air map, we can see that we have a lot of moist air across Jamaica, as indicated by those blue colors. We don't have much in the way of dry air, as indicated by the yellows or oranges or reds, which explains all of these afternoon thunderstorms after afternoon convection and heavy rainfall. The air is very moist at this time, and as such is contributing to that rainfall. As relates to the Saharan dust forecast, we don't have much for 2 p.m. on Thursday across the Jamaica area. Majority of the Saharan dust is right there across the main development region. Taking a look at the wave forecast, we can see, as usual, the western side of the island getting up to 0.5 for meter wave heights, as indicated by those lighter blues, as we can see by the key on the bottom right, while we have those darker blues that indicate 1 to 1.5 meter wave heights across the eastern portion of the island. As usual, we have the strongest winds coming in from the east, averaging maybe 10 to 15 knots, maybe even gusting up to 20 knots, while we have the weakest winds on the western side of the island, not to mention the inland areas of some central parishes. As usual, we know what takes place during the afternoon hours. We have those clouds building up, then we have that afternoon convection when those cumulus clouds become cumulonimbus clouds with that daytime heating. And we can see it even better being forecasted by the upper level wind shear that we're going to be having coming in from the northeast. We know what usually happens with that. We have those cumulus clouds becoming cumulonimbus clouds, then the high cold cloud tops being blown off towards the southwest, bringing more in the way of overcast skies, showers and thunderstorms to sections of some southern parishes. And that was exactly what took place today. We saw those thunderstorms developing across those areas, then the high cold cloud tops were being blown off towards the south, bringing more in the way of overcast sky, showers and thunderstorms to sections of southern Jamaica. So we might just have something similar for Thursday, definitely more in the way of rainfall for sections of Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine, Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, and maybe even the very western tip of St. Thomas. And we can even see it even better on the predicted 1 hour rainfall totals. The Euro model, somewhat similar to the GFS model, showing blues that represent rainfall. What time is this? This is 2 p.m. on Thursday, and we do see the blues that represent rainfall across sections of some eastern, central, and western parishes in Jamaica. And we saw that the wind shear is still going to be coming in from the northeast, so definitely more of a bias toward the southern parishes in Jamaica. So something very similar to yesterday's forecast. And even on the accumulated precipitation forecast, we have something similar as well with the location of the rainfall, but the intensity or the amount of rainfall totals is a bit different. GFS showing up to 0.52 of an inch of rainfall. The Euro is showing up to 0.37 of an inch of rainfall for the totals. And we're indeed grateful that we're going to be getting in on this rainfall. We're in the month of September. We're in the almost peak of our rainy season. The peak is next month, only a couple days away until next month starts. So we'll take all the rain that we can get during this time to put a dent in the hydrological drought that we're experiencing, that's causing the National Water Commission to impose some kind of restrictions in the water. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let's focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So as stated, we have a lot of activity taking place across the basin. Lots of clouds bring overcast sky showers and thunderstorms in sections of the Bahamas, Florida, Cuba, the Cayman Islands, Mexico, Belize, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia, sections of Puerto Rico, the Eastern Caribbean, leeward, and maybe even sections of the Windward Islands getting in on some of that rainfall as well. And they're definitely going to be getting in on some more, considering that Philippe is definitely going to be headed that way shortly. And if we take a look at the Doppler radar images right now of the northeastern Caribbean, we can see that yes, we indeed have some amount of rainfall passing through, especially across sections of Dominica, Guadeloupe, sections of St. John's, Montserrat, St. Kitts, and that was definitely the order of the day. If we start the map off from about 1:45 p.m., we can see that yes, we even had some amount of rainfall across sections of Puerto Rico, definitely some heavy rainfall across northern and eastern Puerto Rico, sections of Guadeloupe as usual, so they'll definitely be getting in on some amount of 1 or 2 passing showers on and off as the day progressed, especially across sections of Dominica. As relates to the Barbados radar, not much taking place across the Windward Islands at this time. Just as we predicted yesterday, Trinidad and Tobago, Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Lucia are in the clear. Majority of the weather is to the north of there, where we have Dominica. As it relates to the wider view of Doppler radar images, we can see that rainfall across sections of Florida, the Bahamas, Cuba, basically what we just saw in the satellite images, the cloud cover. So we can see the rainfall across Belize, Guatemala, Honduras, Mexico, not to mention that rainfall associated with that tropical wave to the south of Puerto Rico. Taking a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, we can still see those 3 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures across majority of the Caribbean, stretching from the eastern Caribbean to the western Caribbean, and that is being shown on both the Euro and the GFS models. And as relates to the Saharan dust forecast, 2 p.m. on Thursday seems to have some slight browns across maybe sections of the northeastern Caribbean, the Leeward Islands, maybe the US and British Virgin Islands, Anguilla, sections of Antigua and Barbuda, St. Bart's, St. Martin, but it won't be that noticeable. We don't have that vigorous dark brown plume of dust that we can expect some allergic reaction to be taking place, or that hazy kind of sky looking. Nothing like that at all for Thursday. As relates to the wave forecast, however, we do see those purples across the northeastern Caribbean. That's going to be churned up by tropical storm Philippe, while the rest of the Caribbean should be getting 1.5 meter wave height or less. And that's due to the fact that winds are going to be coming in from the east, averaging 10 to 15 knots, maybe even 20 knot gusts. But we do see that where we have those yellows, that's where we have Philippe and that area to the east of Philippe, that are going to be causing 25 knot winds or more. As relates to the rain forecast, we can see that we do have the consensus. Definitely that area across the water where we have Philippe going to be getting in on a lot of rainfall, but that's out to sea, so it won't be affecting anyone at all. But we do see that we have more and less rainfall to receive across sections of Puerto Rico, Hispaniola, Haiti, Dominican Republic. Not to mention those areas that are getting rainfall right now, so Guadeloupe, Dominica, maybe sections of St. Lucia. You can see some rainfall in store for sections of maybe Trinidad, not so much Tobago, but Trinidad, of course. And we can also see that rainfall across the southern sections of the basin, not so much Suriname or French Guyana, but definitely Guyana, Venezuela, Colombia, Panama, sections of Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, Belize, sections of Mexico, Cuba, Florida, the Bahamas, even the Turks and Caicos might get in a small amount of isolated rainfall, and even sections of Jamaica, just as predicted. So definitely we're seeing where we have the consensus, and we know that when we see consensus like this, or when we see both maps showing the same thing like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for